morning. It's Barbara. It is barely morning, but it counts. I'm going outside. I'm going to pretend it's still morning when I get out there. Good morning. It's Barbara. Barely morning. Really, Barbara. Oh, I should have brought my knitting, and I could sit and knit with you, and then I could say I knit. I did enjoy knitting while I talked yesterday, but made me talk long. I'll knit tomorrow when I talk to you, because tomorrow is Zoom day. That'll be fun. And I'll knit on my cowl, which is turning out very beautiful. Debbie asked me about my wool t-shirts and what I thought of them. I got mine from, I think it's called Wool O. I got, Instagram ad. I've been really sucked in by Instagram ads. It's all kinds of things. I really like them a lot. And I am not, this may be TMI, I am not prone to body odor anyway because of my diet. So I can wear them many, many times before I feel like they need to be washed. And sometimes I just wash them because it feels like it's been a while, not because they obviously need to be washed. Last night I was wearing the purple one yesterday. That is a size large, which is a little bodycon on me. And so when I bought my second one, which was on sale, I got extra large so that it was a little more loose and t-shirt-ish for me. But I was wearing the other one last night, and we were eating carnitas, and a piece of carnita, which is pork, shredded pork, fell on my t-shirt, and there was a spot there. And I thought, oh, I'm going to have to wash that off, because I took these on my trip, and anytime I got anything on them, I just washed them, and it was perfectly clean. But by the time I got up to wash them, I couldn't figure out where that carnita had landed. So they don't stain particularly. I haven't noticed. And that carnita, it had to have pork juice on it or whatever, but I could not tell where it fell. So I am really liking my t-shirts. I was a little concerned when I first put them on that they might be a little bit itchy, tiny bit itchy, but I actually have not followed through with that thought. It just feels like, no, they're not, to me. And I can tell you that I did not wear half of my sweaters last winter because I suddenly became very, very aware of the slightest prickle factor in my sweaters. So I have sweaters that I love that I didn't wear because they have the tiniest prickle factor, which when I knit them and wore them this winter before, I had no problem with, but last winter I did. So I have this idea that I'm more sensitive than I was before, and these are very comfortable to me. I find, like I said, I've traveled long weekends, and then I was gone for a week and a half, 2 weeks, and these were perfect for me to have. I didn't wash them. I do wash them. I wash them in cold water, low, and I dry them in the dryer low, extra low. But I do all my clothes extra low. That's our clothes setting. And so I have had no problem, and I really like them. But mine were expensive. The first one I bought cost $90. This one was on sale. It cost $60. So they were not cheap. But Valerie's Gym also wears these, which was one of the reasons that I considered them, even at their ridiculous price. Now, he buys them on Amazon, and he gets his, he says, for $39 or something like that. So there are much cheaper, less expensive versions that are probably just as lovely. But I'm pretty sure the company was called Wool O, something like that. I don't think I'll buy any more. I have two. I have two great colors and two different sizes. But And the bodycon works great if you're tucking it in and you've got a sweater over, or, you know, whatever. But after that one, I thought, oh, I want something that's a little more t-shirt like. And yeah, although I would consider, with winter coming, I would consider getting something long sleeved, because I am cold in the winter. And you know, wool is really the year-round fabric. So I would consider that, although they're, you know, more pricey. And I don't shop on Amazon, although I could go out there. I use Amazon like a search engine and figure out who's selling the things that they have on Amazon and going to their website, rather than giving Jeff Bezos any of my money, if you know what I mean. But anyway, I would actually consider some kind of shirt for winter, because I have a black turtleneck that I like. It's cotton that I like, and there are prickly sweaters that are very warm, but I need to have I can't wear them next to my skin. Even before last winter, I couldn't wear them next to my skin. So having a yummy thin, because they're quite thin in texture, shirt. So now I'm thinking about, maybe I would buy one more. But anyway, that's my review. I really like them, and they worked great on my travels. Perfect. And they're very, very light, and they're, you know, don't weigh much, and they don't take up any room when you fold them at all. So there's my review. So yesterday, yeah, I was feeling quite, I don't know, philosophical or something. That's what happens when you sit and talk and knit, you know. Thinking about my mom. So I ended up reading. I ended up puttering a little bit, not very much. You know, it's funny. Some days I can feel like I've already accomplished something, because I emptied the dishwasher. I took a picture of my driver's license and talked to my lawyer and gave him my social security number so that he can set up our probate meeting. I am scheduled for a probate meeting on Tuesday, and it's a Zoom call. So he's going to be in his office, I'll be here, and then we'll be talking to the county courthouse in Center County, which is where my probate needs to be registered. So I don't know what happens after that. I don't know how long it takes, but then I'll get a letter, some document that states that I'm officially acting for the estate of my mother, and then I can move forward. The main things I have to do is figure out what the assets are in the estate, which is relatively straightforward. But we're going to have the farm appraised, and I'm going to have to figure out how much is in Vanguard. And then the one thing that I hadn't thought about before, and I probably mentioned this to you already, is my mother wrote textbooks in her prime. She was a grammarian, and 2 of her textbooks are still being used in college campuses all over the United States, Understanding English Grammar. Now, she has, over the years, and probably over the last 30 years, I would say, I'm guessing, other authors have been added and removed from those books. And I should look that up. Understanding English Grammar. I should look it up and make sure her name is still on it. But she was still, but she hasn't worked on those books, because they have to be updated every couple years, or else the publisher doesn't make any money. So they have to have a new edition, and to qualify as a new edition, they have to change at least 10% of what's in the book. So it needs ongoing support from grammarians and English writers, textbook writers. And so over the years, they've added people to come in and do that work, because I think she hasn't actually contributed very much to the new editions for 20 years, I would say, maybe longer. But, you know, she wrote the original book, and so she's gotten royalties from that book, but every year it's less and less and less. But Daddy was surprised that they got a check this year in March, which is the big check, and I don't think it was a very big check, a few $1,000s, but they did get a check, and that's from the fall book sales from last fall. So anyway, she still has this asset, which is her continuing interest in the books that she originally wrote back in the day. And that's an asset that I have to figure out. And so I have to contact her publisher. But I should have that information from her past tax returns, which I have. So should be able to do that. But I will do that on the advice of Peter, my lawyer, to what to do. So anyway. So I sent him a picture of my driver's license and talked to him on the phone for 5 minutes. And I feel like I've accomplished something today. I did empty the dishwasher. Sometimes I'm too easy on myself and sometimes I'm too hard on myself. But I do have to work on the table because the cleaners are coming on Monday and Vicky's coming on Tuesday. So it'd be nice to have the table organized. And in the process, that will help me organize my executor stuff, which I need to do anyway. So, public service announcement. If you haven't heard, there was a huge breach in some giant database that contains like all of our social security numbers, like everybody's. Huge, huge breach. And everybody is being recommended that they should freeze their credit at the big 3 credit companies. Eqifax, Experian, and there's one more, something like that. Those are the names. I can put the names down below because you really do need to contact everybody and just freeze your credit so that nobody can open new credit with, you know, because if nobody opens credit that doesn't get reported to these 3 credit bureaus, credit services. And so if you freeze your credit, that means nobody can open anything new in your name using your social security number, and it'll keep you safer from identity theft. So this is my public service announcement. I don't know how many people have heard about this breach, but it's big and it's important to help, you know, make sure that you're safe. Anyway, so if you didn't know about that, Dennis froze our credit the other night, and I forgot to mention it before. So that's my public service announcement. If you are in the United States, your social security number has been breached, apparently. But it's not the first time. Apparently, a database that I was in, a government database that I was in, because when I worked, I had to get security clearances from the government because I was working with government data, and the database that held all my security clearance information was breached. So when they got my information and Dennis's, so he was good and did all he needed to do to keep himself safe. I, on the other hand, didn't do anything, and he didn't do it for me, so I wasn't safe. But in the end, it didn't matter because nobody did anything with my social security information. But this is a new breach, and apparently it's like everybody. You know, I used to do software development and, you know, not high level stuff. But I know how easy it is to make mistakes as a programmer. I would never get into a self-driving car. And I hope I never encounter a self-driving car on the street. Because those people... Dennis worked for a company that did software for the medical industry, and what they had to go through to develop software for like MRI machines and all kinds of imaging and all that stuff. I mean, they were very strictly regulated in terms of the quality of the programming for these devices, because you could be injured. There is no such requirement that I know of for any of these self-driving cars, self-driving buses, all that stuff. There's no requirement that, you know, regulates how much testing has to be done and how high quality that programming has to be. And I can tell you that those, you know, those are for-profit institutions who are writing that software, and they want it quick and they want it now, and you can't do quick and good. It's not possible. So anyway, I'm going to stay away from self-driving cars and as much as possible. And so just putting it out there. Not that self-driving cars have anything to do with the breach. It's just the whole thing about computers are not as good as they like to pretend they are. That's all I'm saying. And their security is not as good as they'd like to pretend it is. Anyway. I don't know what's with me today. But, so, that's my PSA. If you have a social security number, it's very likely been stolen. And you should do something to protect yourself. And I'll put the names of the three. It's Eqifax is one. I'm pretty sure the second one is Experian. And then the third one doesn't start with an E. But I'll put the names below. And, yeah. So meanwhile, I'm going to go look those up so I can put them below, start this uploading, and I will see you tomorrow. I'm so excited, and I'll see you tomorrow, and you'll see me too, but I'll see you tomorrow and talk to you. Oh, Carol has proposed that we come up with one fact about ourselves that we think other people don't know and might be interested in. And one of her examples was that you ridden a camel. And so I replied that I've ridden a camel 3 times and I have absolutely vowed to never do it again. That won't be my thing. I have to think of something. I wonder what it would be. I mean, come on. Ooh, this is like $14.98. I'm soon, I think by Sunday, I will be doing vlog number 1500. 1500 is coming up in the next few days. If I forget and don't mention it on the day, you've had a little warning. But come on, Carol, I've been talking for 1500 days. Not counting my podcasts. Surely there isn't anything that you don't know about me. I mean, really. Yeah. That'll be hard. But I'm thinking. I might just comment on everybody else. Oh yeah, that happened to me. Or no, I've never done that. That's something. Oh. I can't think of anything if you're an OG that you wouldn't know about me. I mean, really. 1,500 vlogs. That's a lot of information. Even though most of it is rambling. Alright, I gotta go. I will talk to you tomorrow and see you tomorrow. I'm so excited. You can find the link in the Flame and Fiber Podcast Ravelry group. The Saturday Zoom, it's a sticky on the threads. And if you've been before, we use the same Zoom as every month. And so, yeah, use that one. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'm so excited. Please take good care of yourselves. Please, please stay safe and stay safe.